Tell me, what are all the code quality tools that you use in your organization to get good quality code?
We use SonarQube.
SonarQube.
And yeah, SonarQube actually we have integrated that to our IDE as well.
Okay.
Then we use 45 HP 45 for the static code analysis.
Any other
then code coverage? So we will check the code coverage using the Clover plugin. So Jacob, yeah, Jacob also is fine. Recently we have started like the BDD tools also, like I think they are working on that. So that is for a functional scenario.
Okay. Anybody else have used any other tools?
IBM AppScan. We use Coverity. Coverity. The static.
Okay. So when you
use IBM AppScan as well for security quality.
Very good. AppScanner. Maybe I will put something else also. Have you guys used GitHub Scanner or AWS Code Deploy scanners? Google also has a scanner in the cloud DevOps, basically cloud based. So that's also there. Okay. Now, before we go to the name, let us always see this. Let us look at the area that they belong to, a purpose of that area, and then we'll go from there. Broadly, I will just classify it as this one. When we talk about code quality tools, people often talk about three things, only three things. There are some other things also that we'll see later. But mostly we talk about static code analysis, and then code coverage, and then code smell detector. First thing first, we need to differentiate between these two. These three are not one and the same. They have a clear-cut difference. What is static code analyzer? Static code analyzers are those who just go and check your code statically, okay, how they behave, whether you have formatted it correctly, whether you have multiple return statements, all that stuff. That's one. Code coverage is the one which will tell you, okay, you have these classes, these methods, and these are all the things that we have tested through your test code. Code coverage is relatively a complex area. They cannot work just directly. They work through agents. Just note on this point. This might be the culprit for many of the problems that you face, and people just let that go, say thinking that this is too complex, we cannot use it. But you can use it. You need to know that actually why they are behaving like that. And then code smell detectors, SonarQube and all those stuff, where you might have code duplicates, some security vulnerabilities, and some design smell, all that stuff you might be having, and that can be detected in code smell detector. That's the overall thing. Now let us go. We are going to look at a very simple project, guys. We are not going to look at this with a very big project, because if you look at big project, you learn smaller. If you look at smaller project and you go deep, you learn bigger. That's the idea. Now we will go to this project. So this is the reference project. This is there in GitHub also. We have very simple use case where I have just say hello. This is all that I'm doing, and then I have a constant here. Okay, let us look at the scenarios that I can go wrong actually, and then where these tools can come and help me. Okay, now consider I don't have this. Fine. Now what I want to do is I go to this application constants, not application constants. I mean, this is a plain simple application, very simple application. So I'm saying okay, import java x.swing border dot abstract border, but actually my application is not a UI application. I do not want my class to use this kind of dependencies that I'm not interested in. I want to put a fencing. How do I do that in Java? My requirement is
we use IDE shortcut to only import the.
That's okay. Say for example, okay, fine. Now consider I used it. I used
modules, I think.
Okay. Okay, so that is a place where modules can come to you.
It's not in Java.base. So module can help here, I think.
Exactly. See now, by going with modules, say for example, in module I specify, in my module, my module requires only Java base. Now, once you do that, you cannot cross this right here. When you say new border import Java x.swing, it will not even come. Okay, this is how you eliminate the errors. Quality code is nothing but detect the error, prevent the error. That's all that we are trying to do. And module system can be of good help in this case. So basically, the first point that we need to understand, it is not about a quality code that you can bring only with these people. These people are also helpful, but apart from that, there are a lot of other aspects. Your branching strategy, the way you design your system, the way you use your underlying language, the way you choose your language. For example, you can develop an application in JavaScript as well as in TypeScript. Choosing TypeScript can be one aspect of going towards a quality code in some sense. Okay, I'm not going with plain sense, but in some sense. Can you guess why? Rather writing in JavaScript, you will think, okay, I will choose TypeScript. Why do we choose TypeScript?
I think TypeScript has more. Sorry, please go ahead.
Yeah, it also follows object-oriented syntax, ES6.
Correct. See, Mithun already told type safety. So type safety comes built in. So what is the advantage of type safety? Type safety detects your issues right in your compiler, and that's an advantage. So you can make design decisions. You can make your branching strategies. Branching strategy is one of the most underrated topic actually. Branching strategy can kill everybody's time in your team if you don't plan it properly. And these kind of things, static analyzers, languages, IDEs, these all can help you. Okay, now enough of theory, we'll get into the practical stuff. Okay, now let us look at what are all the quality measures that I have taken. In my code, I have used Checkstyle for my static analyzer. I have used Jacoco for my code coverage. I have used Sonar for my code smells. Okay, now let us look at quality from the first. Let us look at the static analysis. Okay. We will not go in detail with these tools. If you guys need, I will take it in detail later. But the agenda of this session is to understand who is who and how to use them. So that is how we will keep it. Now, Checkstyle. Let us learn these things with Checkstyle itself. Okay, it's like this. Your developers should be knowing the feedback as early as possible. You cannot say, for example, developer makes a code, commit the code, push the code, runs a Jenkins build, and then say, okay, guys, you have a Checkstyle issue. You need to see these issues right in your IDs, and IDs are too good nowadays. We'll do all that stuff. For example, now I have this sum checks. I can run this sum checks here. Where the problem starts? Let us just look at it. Many people will get here. It is actually, this is the place where it goes wrong, and it sometimes provide some weird thing. Okay. Now let us look at this code. Can anybody spot? I have some severe static analysis problems here. Can anybody tell me what is the problem here? So now I'm going to ask my Checkstyle. Checkstyle, please run this sum checks for this current file. So it's running for the current file, and then it says this. So the Checkstyle complains that every comment that you give, please put a dot at the end. Otherwise, I will not allow you to say that it's a good quality code. At the same time, this guy will also say, here there's a severe problem. Can anybody spot a problem here? In the line number 17, it's not going through now. Okay, maybe I just put it and then I run it. Okay, cool, it's working fine. Okay, so what went wrong now in this place? What is the extra thing that we have?
New line was there.
That's new line. Okay, think from a developer side, how frustrated he or she should be. And you produce a code, and then that does a lot of data structure, algorithm, some real computational genius that you put, and then you say, okay, you did not put next line. Guys, this code is rejected. How frustrating it will be, honestly. They will get irritated. Okay, but now, how do we tackle this problem? If you don't address this problem, you cannot even move with your code quality. You will be spoiling everybody's life. Okay, now that is why I'm saying the strategy is not, the code quality strategy is not going to be same for your team and my team. Same for that team and this team. Okay, it's going to be very, very different. I'll tell you a simple logic. Okay, if you are starting as a fresh team, then start with this. Otherwise, what I will do is, for example, in my case, I put a custom checks. What is this custom checks? It's nothing but my own Checkstyle. In my own Checkstyle, I'm saying I am not bothered about Java doc. So Java doc package, I'm not bothered about. I removed it. And then I say Java doc. Now, if I go to my custom checks, and with all this severe problems that this guy was running, I'm just running my custom checks. It goes through. So what we learn is customize it as per your need. Now you can ask when to customize, when not to customize. I'll take very simple case. That's why I started with some volunteers actually. So now anybody can give me, actually I would like someone to type the code, but anyway, I will do it now. I just need to add int a and then I need to put int b. But automatically what I do here is, if I type int a and int b, I am just putting this by instinct. Why do I do so? Why do I put semicolon automatically? When I type as a Java developer, if I'm asking you a equal to 1 plus 2, you'll say 1 plus 2 and then colon. It comes by instinct. The reason being, you know that if you don't put it, compiler is going to complain. So this is what you can do. If you are starting with a fresh team, go with Big Bang approach. Put all the controls without any customization. That is, use checkstyle as it is. Either Sun checks or Google checks. They are very complete. So what I observed over the period of time is, when we teach people, mostly junior people, so they listen to what we say actually. So what happens is, this particular thing, right? Initially, it was frustrating for me itself. It was frustrating when I started it. But after I give the sessions, everything, and then we start working together with freshers, automatically by the time they give comment, they put that, and that comes out of the box. So don't worry, it will come out of the box. It is just practice. Practice makes a man perfect. So you can go there, but before you go there, give a launch pad. As an architect, it's your responsibility. That team is not locked. So how do you do it? It's your responsibility. You cannot skip that and then say, okay, I put that, my job is done. So go and customize these tools. Open the gateways one by one. If you are running a project which is of 100 members and the code base is of 5 years actually that you have, and all of a sudden you go and say, okay, I need 80% and I'm very strict on this, and use all complete standards, you are not going to make any benefit to the system. You are going to corrupt the system. So this is one thing that you need to do. 1. 2, in your organizations, most probably if you are using SonarQube, you will be having your own SonarQube instance. So is that SonarQube instance just a plain? No. These SonarQube instance will have customized set of rules and responsibilities for your application. So when you have that, let me know if anybody faces this problem. You will put the plugins like SonarQube in your machine. The plugins will say everything is fine, actually it works fine, but your build will fail and your SonarQube will say this is a problematic build. Anybody face this problem? That is, your IDE says it's a quality code, but your Sonar pipeline or Jenkins pipeline says it's not of quality code. Anybody face this? Nobody face this problem? Okay, sorry. I'm not looking in the chat. I'm looking in the chat. Okay.
Mithun has a comment. He's saying that rules can differ between the Sonar and the continuous integration, continuous delivery environment versus the IDE.
Mithun, excellent answer. You can speak up, guys. The reason that we are using Zoom, we were being asked to use YouTube. We are keeping away from YouTube. The reason being, YouTube we can speak. Our audience cannot speak. That's why we use Zoom. So you speak up, no problem. It's a very good question. First of all, I appreciate Mithun's question. This is one thing that many people do not catch it. So what happens is, it's not just two things. It's wasting your time, because something there is a standard. The standard should be uniform to the developer, and the standard should be right in the developer's machine. You cannot just go and say, okay, I have a standard, it will fail only in your Jenkins. You need to wait. By the time you see the failed build, you might have wasted 30 to 40 minutes actually in a real-time project. Okay, so how do you do that? Is these IDE tools also are customizable. Even in SonarQube case, it's very simple. If you're running SonarQube, SonarQube provides you the say for example, now if you run the SonarQube, how do you run it? Maven task. It will give you the hint. How do you run with your customized settings? You can give that customized settings from your IDE perspective. Your IDEs will ask whether you can integrate with Sonar Cloud or Sonar URL. You give that. In that case, your IDE will show in sync with your actual organization checklist. That's one thing that we need to keep in mind. So here, two things. One, if it's an old project, do it in phases. Do not go with Big Bang approach. But if it is new project, always go with strict rules. That's one thing. Now, customization should be looked. That's what I told. So do not just go and with built-in one and then say developers are having problems, because it's a working software. It is there for more than few years actually. Okay, and then it can block progress. You need to look at that. That we will see later. This is actually a detailed one. But IDEs and organizations should be in sync. So that you need to keep in mind. And this is the last one that many people will not see it. This Java agent kind of is like Jacoco and all those stuff. They are specific to this Java version also. Every 6 months Java is keep changing. They make a lot of considerable changes. Now it seems like it's breaking many times. So Java 15, at least as we speak today, has some issues with code coverage tools. So the version that you use, as long as you stick to the LTS versions of Java, probably these coverage tools will not have any problem. So stick to that. Try to use LTS as much. So once we do that, let us see whether, okay, it's taking time. Okay, now coming to this branching strategies. How come a branching strategy can corrupt your code quality? Anybody? Did anybody face this problem? Branching strategies corrupting your code quality. What is branching strategy?
Or we can rephrase the question like this: that branching strategy having an impact on developer productivity or code output for a defined period. So if we take the approach that okay, we are running in a sprint of 2 weeks, and somebody does an analysis of sorry, go ahead, Narayan.
We faced some extra spaces and that time.
Correct. Okay, excellent. Okay, so these are all very practical problems. You will find it very, very hard to explain. How come branching strategy is actually related to that? Let us take a very simple case. If you are working in a project and that project is not modular based, the project has one single module where you keep all your code, everybody touching the same set of things. What happens is if you work with the different teams and you have team specific branches, sometimes people get this feature driven branches idea totally wrong. We create more and more branches. You create one ticket, one branch, one epic, one branch, one sprint, one branch, one person, one branch, one team, one branch. Like that, there are a lot of complexities. And you can go and see projects where if you see more number of branches, most probably your code quality will be severely affected by branches. There are very simple formulas. This is a very simple formula. Sometimes you please ask me if this you are not able to connect, but I'll tell you the simple rule. At any given point in time, the number of branches that you have in your repository should be equal to or lesser than number of features that you work at that time. Do it make sense? Or anybody have any anybody have problems to understand this rule? If this simple rule is maintained, most probably you will be eliminating this code quality problems in your branch. Can anyone tell me why this rule should be there first of all? If you are a team who are working with feature driven development, you will be facing this feature driven branches. Okay, so just
are you referring to conflicts which will be faced?
Correct. So now if you are working with lot of branches, what happens is, for example, you have a dev branch, and then in dev branch you take a sprint, and the sprints are going to be for a specific team. Okay, now sprint of team 1, and then inside that the sprint you might have epic 1, and that is one branch. Inside this epic you might have story 1, then story 2.
Satish, sorry to interrupt. Can I just repeat the rule once again for the audience?
Okay, I'll keep it in writing. Okay, at any point in time, number of branches in Git should be equal to or less than number of features you work. Maybe you can take your Jira tickets. If this simple rule is followed, you can see that these problems, this branching strategy related problems may not occur in your project. If you don't see this rule met, then you can always suspect that guy can be culprit and he's actually behind the screen, he's silently killing your project. Okay, so how it happens is, in this case, if you look at it,
sorry to interrupt. Here sometimes what will happen, we don't know when we need to release. They will say that 10 features implemented, but while doing the deployment, they will say only 5 features I need. But while giving, they are saying that 10 features we need going to deploy. But somehow business told after implementing 2-3 sprints, they will say no, I need feature 1, feature 5, feature 7. This is high priority. In that scenario, what will happen is every scenario we face really, every scenario we create a branch. Means not a scenario, every feature we create a branch. If I merge it, what will happen? They will come just only this modem series code only I need. Then at the time I will face a problem.
So hard fixes, you'll do a lot of hard fixes.
Yeah.
It's a big headache actually. Okay, now in this case there is another thing also. Sometimes we will be, I mean, some people who attend this conference and all that stuff, they will come and say, guys, there is a remedy for this. I found out a solution. What is the solution? We will use something called feature flags. Okay, so where we will say every feature that you put, you hide it behind the flag. You can be enabled, it can be disabled, which means you can dump all your features without worrying about these kind of problems. And then you can enable them, disable them. This solves the problem, correct?
See, future flags is after deploying, I will enable or disable. That you explained. Now, what they are saying that I don't want that code itself.
Very good.
It's like
very good.
this
very
kind
good.
of things, right?
Oh, very good, very good. Okay. So yes. In that case, it's very simple actually. More the feature flag also a problem. Okay, that's a different thing. But considering your case, you are creating more branches. Correct.
Yes.
Correct. Okay. So what I'm saying is, it's either these two cases. In some teams, they will decide, okay, I will just keep creating branches. That also invades problems. And in some teams, they will say, okay, put everything behind the feature flag. Do not create branches. So it might sound like this is a solution for this, or this is the solution for this. But actually, these both have problems. First of all, you should not be there in the place. That is the place where you need to plan your project properly. And the team should defend. For example, if you're, okay, let us just ask one question. Are you working in a product or you are working in a service?
Service.
That is a hosted service, cloud-based service, correct?
Yes.
Okay, cloud-based service. Okay, in that cloud-based service, you can always decide what features can go, what features should not go, because features go together, correct?
Yes.
You do not have that complexity. Then I think this is all that your teams will do. That's all that they can do.
We are not deciding. Like what will happen is like our PO, our product owner will be there. He said this by this end of this PI, I need 10 features. After at fourth or fifth, they will come and say no, some other team don't want this feature. They are not yet ready.
Very good. Okay, so basically that's a bottom problem, right? You're not planning it. If you're adding a feature, the moment it comes to the development team, there should not be a going. It should not be a going back actually. In software, removing it is not that simple. It might add a lot of tech debt to you. Correct.
Yeah. For that one, I will use later. This branch, this feature, I will use later. For now, I don't want to this feature.
Oh, it's an innovative problem. Got it. It's an innovative problem. It's not a problem. It's an innovative problem. Yeah. So this is about branching strategies that can sometimes. And then the interesting point that he brought is your planning can correct your code quality. And bottom line, we will just keep three things, guys. If you keep these three in line, most probably you will make it through. Code quality versus quality code. You are just trying to provide quality code and use these tools appropriately. Quality code you keep in mind, and then tools will not provide 100%.
Satish, can you didn't cover how this multiple branches affects the code quality. Of course, we talked about the list of branches, number of branches, but how it will affect the code quality.
Okay. I'm coming to this. Okay. Now we create something like this. Okay, and particularly in an earlier team, you might have lot of common classes, common files. Okay, we'll say files that everybody touches. Here comes the problem. What happens is in this all branches, there will be lot of merge requests, lot of pull requests. And every time you need to resolve these conflicts. Sometimes these files can cause problems practically. The common files that you have, right? The more number of hierarchy of branches that you have, this might bring in changes. But by the time you bring this change, another team might have made another change in this common class. And when you do a merge, you might be merging with just a Git. Did I answer the question or I did not?
Okay, so if you take care of the list of common classes and who can approve the PR, then irrespective, the number of branches will not be a problem. That's it, right?
Okay.
I can look at it that way, right? Because that's how practically will happen, right? Because the teams are desperately located, planning can never be perfect. So this dynamic changes will happen. Only thing is, if you take care of the probably the util class or the common services or the components, if you put a lot of governance around that, then you can live with the practical problem as number of branches, even if it is
very good. Who is this? Arun, right?
Sriram.
Sriram. Okay, Sriram. Excellent. Okay. Now the last statement I will take it. Okay, you said if you put put lot of governance and the people take care of it, the problem will be solved, right? Correct. Correct, Sriram.
Yeah. That's correct.
Okay,
That too, I am looking at it in a practical sense. Okay.
Correct.
In ideal world, I understand the number of branches cannot exceed the list of branches, or maybe plus or minus some 5% it can go.
Correct,
But practically, this business will dynamically change their priority or what are you saying that one. I want to know any other problem you are saying, because this one I understood the common neutral classes as perspective. Any other challenges in the code quality?
I will tell you two things. Okay, first thing, I'll answer this question first. Okay, here is what I'm concerned about, Sriram. Okay, when you say you put lot of governance and you put people responsible for taking care of it, and that most of the time 80% this itself will create problem. As much as we plan, we need to plan it in such a way that we do not depend on people, and the governance is almost invisible for the teams actually. So if in order to do that, it's always better the less number of branches is better. That is what I would say. And also there are some possibilities. Okay, what happened is sometimes your branches can look very, very similar. Sprint 7 integration branch we will have, and then we will have something like Sprint 7 integration XYZ or something like that. By mistake, people might take from some other places also. This I have seen. The more branches. One is simplest way, Sriram. We can just try to hit a ground. Okay. Even if you try to do that, okay, I have no other option. I need to go it this way. Correct. That is what your point. Because business demands. Correct, Sriram?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
in that case, yeah, because there are things that we cannot control it, right? Just keep this simple rule in mind. Okay. Just keep looking for stale branches. If it is there, keep removing it. Or the simplest method is whenever you raise and pull request and merge it, there will be a checkbox. Delete after merge. Minimum, if this feature is used, you will not face this problem.
No, actually, we do delete after release to production, because sometimes we need to roll back and we need to fix it again. Branching will be difficult. So we'll do deletion after releasing to production.
Yeah, that teams to team vary. Okay, if you have if you think that you have enough branches to support your hot fixes and all those stuff, then it is different. But if you look at your actual branch of work happening, then you need to keep it for some time. But make sure you do not keep it for long time, and the branch names are not similar to each other. If the branch names are similar, you can always expect some uninvited problems where you will have some stale merges. You can corrupt your code.
Yeah, one more issue you face is like if you have a lot of branches, when we run your pipeline generator code, it will impact like unnecessarily it has to regenerate, delete. It will impact my CI/CD also if you have a lot of unnecessary.
Correct. Yes. One team will be blocking and another team, that I have seen. That is,
you mean to say that the number of branches increases means the remote pull or the push will have a slower performance. That's what you are trying to say, right?
Yes, that's also one side effect. And also, sometimes, right, this Jenkins, they might introduce a queuing system where they say, okay, I have one Jenkins job. This Jenkins job will keep waiting for all the branches. If I commit first, my branch will be running my branch will be taken by the Jenkins job. If you commit first, yours will take. Which means if your build time is 20 minutes, the more number of branches will keep the wait time also more. This can be easily avoided in Jenkins. You can make parallel jobs. That's easy. But if they haven't done that, this will also be a side effect. But in general, keep the branches in control. Why do we keep creating a lot of branches?
Got it. I understood.
Yeah.
There was another question from Giri Prasad Satish, where he's asking that, when is trunk-based development better?
Okay. So again, it's relatively a broader topic. Git workflow will be different. You can use Git as per your need. Trunk-based development is still valid. If you are saying, for example, now we just discussed, right? That is, if you are running a service and you know what features to go, what features not to go, you have all the control. You do not have customizations between the customers that much. Hard fixes are not there. Then trunk-based approach is ideal. You can just use it as simple as SVM kind of workflow. That will work really, really better. You don't need to get into this kind of branching strategy. Okay, yeah. So keep always see whether the tool works for you, and you try to provide quality code. I can show this demo sometime later with some full-fledged project, like either a Spring Boot application or some enterprise application. Just for simplicity's sake, I used a simple application. Then what else? Do not think that it's just code quality tools. Your design, language, everything matters. All towards provides a quality code. It is not just a code smell tools or static code coverage tool. This provides a quality results. Proper review process matters a lot. Proper review process, we cannot escape it. Yes, one important topic I forgot to cover. Okay, now there are some highly underrated tools that not many people use, but these are really helpful to avoid the people dependencies. Let me consider this specific case where okay, let it restart. Have you guys anytime faced this problem? That is, you want to make some certain naming convention to your applications. Model classes should be named suffix with model. Constants should be suffixed with constants. Did we use any tools, any architecture checks? And if you do that, this is the place where majority of the review comments will come, and this is the place where we will not be able to hit the common ground. Have you guys faced this problem? That is, for example, I have a condition where I worked in prior to the module system era, where I work in, say, for example, Java 8, and I want to enforce the same standard. How do I enforce it? Okay, so this is a basic Java project. So all that I can access is either I can access it from Java lang or this one. So how precisely this can work is, even in this case, consider this case, we'll go one level higher. Consider you have this module system also in place. Even in this case, what module system can guarantee you is, it says, guys, do not use any package outside Java Swing, import Java base, import Java x.swing. It is not allowed. Okay, that much it guaranteed. But I'm going even one level higher. I'm going to give this as a practice ground for my students. They are not supposed to be exposed with any of the other areas. They are supposed to be exposed only with language basics alone. That is my goal. So how do I enforce that? It's very simple. Now, for example, here I go, and then I run this test case. So this allows only Java lang and this one. So for example, I will use array list. This is perfectly fine from module system perspective. It is not going to complain because this is the Java base only. But I have a specific use case. I want to go even one level down. I'm saying use only java.lang only. Do not use anything else. So if you have that kind of checks, how do we do
it? We can have our own module and say users transitive.
Yeah.
For whatever we want to expose.
Yes, that's one way. Yes. Yeah, it's working. It's not supposed to work. Maybe I made some mistake. Okay, fine. So in some cases, let me put a very delicate scenario where we might make a mistake. In our previous class, we discussed about this. When you work in Spring Boot caching, you are not supposed, there is one specific rule. You are not supposed to call any cache method from within the same class. Anybody remember this rule? You know why? If you are doing so, you are breaking the cache behavior, because cache in Spring Boot works with the concept of proxy classes. If you do it within the classes, the proxy classes will not be invoked, it will not be effective. So most probably your cache will be broken. And these kind of cases cannot be tracked both by the developer, architect, anybody. It's very difficult to track actually, because it might be there somewhere down the line, any place. So how these kind of things can be handled is, there is a tool called ArcUnit. And this is a really useful tool where you can place this as if your own architect. So the problem that we faced, right, Satish and John had a conflict and all this stuff. In that case, you can say, Satish and John come together. You fight within yourself, but give me the architecture unit test cases. If you are giving me the test cases, I will run it. If it passed, it passed. If it failed, it failed. Do not come in between. And that control, you can always put it with the tool called RQL. This is exceptionally useful tool. This is not used by many people, surprisingly. Hope you can see my screen. I can take a session on this separately later if you guys want it. It's the logic that I told is very, very simple thing. Particularly now RQL is so much where they have constrained checks for Spring profiling, Spring Boot projects, all these projects also. You can simply import it and then run it. You'll be tracing something that you cannot even trace it earlier. So this is one of the highly useful tool. If not, please give it a try. This is definitely useful. So hope you find the session useful. That's all from me today. Any doubts, any questions, or anything that you